who was not involved in the business, was looking at it herself, took me to an event in June. Now, trust me, in England, we all love the summer as well, and we've had just as much lockdown back then of wet, dreary weather. So the key here is do not prejudge whether people will go to an event or the timing in their lives or what they've done. I was taken to an event. So Golden Nugget 1, events work. Number 2 is don't prejudge people. And I signed up at that event on the 18th of June, 1991. And there's a couple of things I learned at that event. And one of them, so nugget number 3, is become a student, be teachable. Now, I'd always had to be teachable because in the military, you had no choice. They forced you to. I guess the byproduct of that is I didn't want to work for anybody else again. But the point was I was told to be teachable, and I was. Now, this isn't difficult. You don't have to go to university. You don't have to give up your day job. You can learn as you earn in our business. So I was a good student. So that was great. But then one of the successful leaders at that event turned around and did something which, with your permission, I would like to do with you now, because I've continued to do this ever since. And I would suggest that most people haven't done this. And if they have done it, they half-heartedly do it. And it's about developing a why. And you can do this right now with me if you choose to. And this is what happened to me at a full event, which was incredible. And what that is imagine if tomorrow, close your eyes just for a second. And if you won't do this now, do it tonight before you go to bed. If tomorrow you had the total freedom of choice. And what I mean by that is money was not an influence or a deterrent or a prohibiting factor. Time was not a deterrent or a prohibiting factor. Circumstances, the weather, or any other thing you care to think about, you didn't have any of that. You had the total freedom over the next week or 2 weeks or whatever it is to do whatever you really dig deep and want to do. It might be playing golf. It might be hanging out playing soccer with the kids. It might be going on a holiday with a pina colada in one hand and whatever in the other hand. Whatever it is for you, think really hard. If you could, you would. Might be sharing a birthday with somebody special. It might be taking the kids to the local swimming pool now that summer's going on. It might be having your own swimming pool. But I challenge you, really think, what is it right now, if you could, you would be doing tomorrow? And now if I can be so bold, the chances are that you're not doing that tomorrow. Yet you really want to, but you're not doing that tomorrow. And if you're not really doing that tomorrow, when are you doing it? When is it prioritized? When is it diarized that you are going to be doing that thing that's so important to you? And the chances are it's like, oh, well, maybe next year, or maybe when I have more time, or maybe when I have more money, or maybe when I have less responsibility. And that was what was shared with me at the time at that event. And I played along and I knew exactly what I wanted. It was freedom of time and freedom of money. This isn't us saying, oh, you can become a gazillionaire and make millions in this business. I mean, it can be done. People have. But this is about increasing your quality of life so that you can do something that perhaps you wouldn't otherwise be doing, which this exercise has just highlighted. I dreamed of plenty of time and plenty of money. And as a result, we've had the last 30 years pretty well of doing just that. Are we the best recruiter for new partners in the business? No. Are we the best retail people to sell lots of product to lots of people? No. But what we've done is been consistent and persistent in the simple things over and over again, which at the end of the day is what makes this work. And I'm already halfway through my time here. So what is it that you need to do? You played that game. You've decided, yes, if I could, I would. I just want to get it better. I also learned something, another gem for you to write down is can I? Constant and never-ending improvement. No matter what level you're at, what lifestyle that you've got, whatever freedom of time or money you've always got, it can always be improving. It can always be getting better. You can always have more, and more isn't a bad thing. And I started learning about this and practicing this. My mother, bless her, was a successful business lady. She thought it was, we call it goal setting. We call it dreaming and achieving. She called it delusions of grandeur. And you're going to find people that aren't going to understand what it's all about. And that's okay. You're going to find people that think they understand our industry or what we do with network marketing. Well, here's my challenge to you. If somebody says that they understand what we do, then they are doing it. The reality is most people are not, because they don't understand. So shake that off. Don't worry about it. So there's 3 things that you do in our business to be successful. 3 things that you can learn if you're not already doing them, especially if you're new, 3 things that you can master and get better. I don't care what level you're playing at, how long you've been with us in the business, whether everybody starts at the beginning on the left-hand side of our pay plan and works all the way up through. Everybody does the same thing, just like I did all those days back in June 1991. So the 3 things we do, number 1 is we share information about our product. Anytime, any place, anywhere. And there's all the ways that we can learn how to do that. I'm not going to go into that now. But if you share it with a few people, you'll have a few customers. If you share it with a lot, you'll get a lot of customers. That's it. It's not about becoming a fruit and vegetable or a tower garden tycoon. You only need a handful of customers and share the business with other people so that you have a group of partners, a team, if you like, all doing a little bit. It's about a lot of people doing a little bit. So the second thing is sharing information about our business and our business plan and all those things. And if you do that with a few people, you'll have a small group, a small team. If you do it with a lot of people, you'll end up with a bigger team. And the beautiful thing is there's no restriction to the number of customers you can have, no restriction to the number of distributors or partners you can have anywhere in the world, in all the countries that Lee showed us earlier. It's totally unlimited. Just be consistent and persistent, and it will work. The third thing we do, and this to me is the one that I was teachable and I caught on to right at the beginning, is that if you learn how to promote and attend and get people to events, this is an event. A coffee shop event is an event. Something in a big convention center is an event. There's all kinds of events. A hot tub party is an event. We take people out on the boat and cruising around and share what we do. There, everything is an event. But here's the bit that most people miss. It's not about just going to the events. It's about bringing people to the events. Why? Because even if you have the knowledge and you're fantastic at sharing the product or sharing the business information, it's the stranger is the expert. If I was to take Stephen to an event and somebody else is the expert, somebody else is sharing that knowledge, even though I know it myself, 2 things happen. The stranger is the expert. I can just shut up and at the end of it go, well, do you see anything in it for you? Much better relationship. And Stephen can ask me as many questions as he wants afterwards. But the best part is Stephen knows he doesn't have to know everything. He can take somebody to an event and do exactly the same thing over and over again. So share the product, share the business, and promote, attend, and take people to events. Now, that has not changed. The way that we do it, the technology, brochures, goodness, we used to have cassette tapes when we started. Then we went to DVDs. Then we went online. It doesn't matter what the tools are. The system, the concept is exactly the same. Do it a little bit, do it often and frequently, and be persistently. And I've just got a couple of minutes left. So if you can learn how to do those things, it works really well. Events are key. It absolutely is key. Learn how to work it backwards. If you want to build a business of a certain size, pick an event further down the line, whether it's a product and event, or if you want to build a large team, maybe it's a conference in Anaheim next spring, and then work it backwards. What do you need to do to get the people in place on each of the steps leading up to that? You know, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's very, very simple. Anything that's going to be successful, you have to have a plan. You know, people who want to be successful in the Olympics, how many years have they had to train, you know, sweat and tears and all of those things? Do you think they worried about failing when they were doing all the sports to go in the Olympics? Of course not. Don't compare yourself to others. That will kill you in our business. It's not about how fast somebody else moves. It's not about any of that. It's about, well, there's 2 ways to fail. Never start and quit. Oh, by the way, the lady that drove me to that event, I got to sales coordinator in 6 weeks. Not that it was about me. She decided she didn't like it and was a bit jealous, I suppose, and decided to hand her $52 back and resign from the company. Took me 9 years after that point to become a national marketing director. Do you think it would have been worth you waiting for someone in your team for 9 years to become a national marketing director? I was a national marketing director for 10 years before Sandy, who you're going to hear from in a moment, joined our team 10 years later. So consistency, persistency, and never, ever quit. Be a product of the product. We love the products. We take all of the products. We always have. We absolutely love tower gardens. We've got 4 of them, 2 outside, 1 in a greenhouse with tomatoes, and 1 indoors. Be a product of the product. Then people, you know, people buy people long before they buy your product or service. If they know that you're a product of the product and they're buying you, then it's just a natural progression. And as I said before, never, ever, ever quit. So I hope that's of service to you. I'm just over 12 minutes there. All I can say to you is it worth it? You betcha. We're not going to make income claims. And, it's not about becoming a gazillionaire. It's about the things that it allows you to do that are above and beyond. What I can tell you is that a couple of years ago, my mom was fortunate enough to visit us over from England. She's not been able to come, obviously, in the last year and a half. So looking forward to that. When she sat on the chair overlooking the lake, we have a beautiful view, and she sat there and, I don't want to get emotional here, but this is the truth. We had a rather interesting relationship over the years because obviously I was in the military for so long, and then I moved to Canada. She's in England. But she sat on the deck with a cup of coffee in this chair. I swear she had coffee in the morning. She fell asleep in the afternoon with a glass of Chardonnay and then sat there at night when the sun went down. She loved sitting on that chair. And she turned around to me. I was cleaning the pool. And she said, Mark, I wish her mum, my gran, was alive today because she'd be very proud of what you've done. She was like, choker. So anyway, this is life-changing. It's so worth it. Congratulations for being on the call. And I challenge you. You can, if you've been around a while, you can fire yourself tonight and rehire yourself tomorrow. You really, really can. And it's worth it. And I can't wait for you to hear from Sandy because we watched her grow over the years. And if you can achieve half of what she's achieved, which every one of you can, it's so worth it. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark. Incredible. I can't, that impact, that story at the end with your mom overlooking the lake. And you think about impact and you think about 30 years, congratulations and thank you for 30 years. That's amazing. And then you think about the lives you've changed because you said yes and went to that event. You start to spend some time. It's, you talk about goosebumps. You think about the countless amounts of people that are impacted because you said yes, because people on this call tonight say yes and go out and share. Thank you. Now, Sandy, I'm excited for you to share as well, talking about creating impact. Sandy Veilleux, a very dear friend, mentor to many, a heart-centered leader that we have, leading cross country with the rest of our leadership team, as well as around the world, and been on an incredible journey herself. And I remember the first time I got a call, I don't know how many years ago this was, from Sandy and Michelle in their living room in Camrose, saying there was a group of ladies there. I don't know how many there. I'm going to guess probably 4, 5, 6, talking about how they were going to do this, how they were going to build this and put Camrose on the map. And little did we know it wasn't too long after that. And not only was Camrose on the map, but a whole lot of other places got on the map pretty quick. And they created some massive, massive impact to where Sandy's now a 100 Club PMD as well. So Sandy, thank you so much for all you do and for being on the call tonight. And I'll kick it over to you, Sandy Veilleux.
Love you guys. Thanks so much. It was so good. You really don't need me here. This would you've got it all. You've got it all on the call tonight. And just know that if you're on this call, it's for a reason. Something in your heart led you into just coming to check out what all this Juice Plus Jazz is all about. And I'm just going to share my story with you because I never thought that I would do something like this. Initially, I fell in love with the products. It had made a significant difference in my daughter's skin issues. And I was just feeling good. My energy was good. And I'm just a natural kind of blabber and connector. And so if that's you on this call, that's amazing. We need more of you. And I was just like, wow, I can't help but think I'm feeling good because of this Juice Plus stuff, and just starting to tell people. And so I signed up for the business truly just for a discount. That was the first time I said yes to the business. I had no interest in actually doing it. I just wanted to get the discount to cover the cost of my product. But it was actually a weekend that I got invited to in Banff that Mark and Yvonne put on, and Stephen was there and Lee was there, and I didn't know anyone. And I got to that event, and the people genuinely were like you see on this call, like warm-hearted, kind, welcoming. And I could feel that. Like, my background is I'm a yoga teacher. And at that time I had a yoga studio and a yoga for schools business as well. And so energy is like my love language. So I came into the room and I was like, wow, this feels really great. And everyone's so kind. And that felt really good. And then I heard a doctor talking about the Juice Plus products. And I'm not a science girl. Remember, I'm an energy girl. But he was talking about like oxidative stress and free radicals. And I was like, oh my wordy words, this makes sense. And holy smokes, everybody needs to know about Juice Plus on the planet. I was like slapping people next to me and going, we need to share, more people need to know. So that was all fine and good. And then the business training started the next day. And you guys, I couldn't understand, but I was emotional right when the day started. Stephen started talking about if you have goosebumps, you might want to pay attention. And I was like, I've got goosebumps. I don't know why. And then people were getting celebrated. They got called up to the front of the room and cheered for whatever position they just got. I didn't even know. And I was like, oh my goodness, this just feels so good. I've never worked at a job where people got cheered on for whatever they just did that was good. And that was like, wow, that's different. That feels good. And then carrying on, there was so much inspiration, like just hearing these guys speaking and just hearing all the wealth of information and knowledge and wisdom that they have. That felt great. And it was just felt like a personal development course sitting there in the room. And then I heard this couple talking, and they were talking about the life that they'd created because of their Juice Plus business. They traveled around the world for 15 months. And that was like, wow, I'm in my history, in my university degree, which wasn't a degree, it was a backpacking, my backpack I had worked and traveled and lived overseas for 7 years. And it was kind of like, I really got a taste of working hard and then playing hard, work for a few months and then travel for a few months. And I really got a taste of that lifestyle with a lot of kind of, focus and then freedom. And so they were talking about traveling the world because of their Juice Plus business. And I was like, hold the phone. Like, that's not cheap to do. And what? This is an actual business. You can actually earn that kind of income. And I was noted in my mind, but I thought, but they look like Ken and Barbie. It's probably always been easy for them. Mark and Yvonne looked like they've always been successful. And so I was like, so I probably can't do it. Like, that's probably for them. But then they talked, this couple talked about like their backpacking days. Of course, that was the story that reeled me in, and that they lived on Ichiban and Kraft Dinner. And I was like, oh, those are my people. Okay. I'm not so different from them. And Mark and Yvonne had shared some photos of their humble beginnings and then this magical life that they'd created because of this business. And suddenly I was like, I had stopped putting them on this pedestal and myself in this pit. I kind of was like, oh, okay, they're just like normal people, and normal people are able to create this kind of a life because of this business. And automatically it already had checked my values. So it was helping people. The products were amazing, and I was already a raving fan. And at the top level, you could get a full medical benefits package. That was a seed that planted in my head. And so I really had this moment where I thought, okay, I feel like I'm supposed to do this Juice Plus business. And being in that room, no one would have known the struggles that I was going through. So at the time, I did have a business. I had a yoga studio, but we were struggling with a mountain of debt. We were on the doorstep of bankruptcy. I was in a marriage that was near ending, and I had been on my knees praying for a solution. I thought it was going to be a lottery ticket, you guys. Like, everybody knows what they're going to do when they win the lottery ticket. And here was this moment where I asked for a sign, and I was like, am I supposed to do this Juice Plus business? And I got the sign, and I just like wrapped my heart around doing this in a very heart-centered way. And I made a decision. I said yes to doing this business right in that moment and really taking it seriously. And so I was able to get to the top level in a year and a half. And I'm just like a normal mom. I had businesses, I was busy, but I had a huge why. Not only did I see the possibility of what this business could do, I deep down knew it was going to be a lifeline for the kids and I. I did become a single mom through this process, and I thank God that I had this business. It was like my soft place to land. Not only the finances to have that stability there, but also the people and the community. And I'll never forget when I was sitting in that room and I had made that decision, when I'd heard those speakers talking, and someone said, "You're exactly where you choose to be." And that kind of made me sick at first, because I was like, nah, where I choose to be sucks right now. Like, no. But then after I let it land, I realized, well, then I can choose different. well, then I have the power to change and make different choices so that I could create the life that I wanted for my kids. And so initially it started covering costs, and then it started covering, bills and things in my life. And then it was giving me a full-time income. And I was able to thrive through that as a single mama. I was able to say yes. And I am able to say yes to the things that my kids want to do. And we're able to dream. Something else I realized in that room is that I hadn't dreamed for so long. It seems so far away. If anyone ever has struggled with debt and the weight of that, it can be crippling. Like, I swear it was a couple of years where I didn't have PTSD using my bank card after, rewiring my abundance story. And so I just get so lit up if you're here on the call and you're having your goosebump moment and you're having that, I feel like this is it. I feel like this is the thing, because it's just a bundle of pure possibility. And then you get to create what you want from it. I mean, I get just as lit up when it's bringing in a few $100s for some people in my team, to where it's covering mortgages and beyond. It's like everything is available. And as I've gone into this journey, and now I never went to university. And so I always thought that was like signing away the possibility to create a really, big income for myself. So now, as a yogi gypsy entrepreneur, I'm able to earn a 6-figure income. And I have to share that with you, because people don't realize that that's possible. It's not for everyone, but if you make that decision and you really put the effort in, it can be possible for you. And so now my story is transformed, and I really want to shift the legacy for my kids. I want them to inherit a different kind of abundance mindset. And because of this business, and because of the people that are associated with it, and because of the personal growth that you get alongside of it, like, that's another thing that we don't talk about enough, you guys. It's like world-class training. Like, you go to some conferences, and people that have been training for Tony Robbins are there teaching, because they're a part of this business and they love to serve. And people that come as speakers, they do it for fun and for free, because they truly love to help others. And it's one of those things where everybody helps everyone. There's nothing like it. It doesn't matter if you're on the same team or a different team. It's like, if something's working for us, then we share it with everyone else. And I love, that's the environment in the company with the heart that I like to be a part of. And so the time will pass anyways. If you even think back, like, try and think back 2 years ago, 3 years ago. If I do that, I'm like, holy smokes, that went by really quickly. And so what if this is something that you feel like, if you could be, earning some extra income with, and create another cash flow so that you can live less in your stress and more in your values, what could it be for you? And if not this, then what? And if not now, then when? So that's my heart around it. I'm just so pumped, and know that you're never doing this business by yourself. You always have cheerleaders and support worldwide. And it's so exciting to have other people join us in this mission.
Amazing. Sandy, thank you. So many great words. And just, again, goosebump moments. I think that's an incredible way of saying it. I got them many times this evening. Hearing from Mark and you just about the impact. That's the word that I don't know why, when I was writing down kind of just some points this evening around what I want to capture, that word kept coming up. I think it's written about 6 times down in the little scribbles I got here on my notepad. And again, you can hear it, and you can feel it, and you can see it in terms of what you both have created. And by saying yes, showing up, creating a vision, being consistent, all the things that you guys shared, just think of the impact you've created across the country. And I say that because if people are, the 170 people who are watching this right now are thinking, what am I going to do? What about me? What's my story? What's my impact? What's my vision? And I love that, Mark. I noticed I had my eyes closed for a lot longer than probably everybody else, because I was in it. I was in the moment. And then I was like, that's a really long time. And I opened my eyes, and you guys had your eyes open. But just in that moment of casting that vision of, as Sandy said, what's possible, and if if not this, what? And if not now, when? And I can't think of a better time. We've got an incredible opportunity over this summer to create huge impact with our Come Join Us split. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Mark, Sandy, Lee. Thank you, our translator, Alan. Thank you, everybody who joined us this evening. I've got a flyer here, and I should have had it ready to share on the screen, but if you loved this and it gave you goosebump moments and you want to hear some more stories, there's a global Zoom call coming up in just a couple of days from now. Is it a couple of days from now, Lee? Oh, no, it's in July. I'm sorry. Wednesday, July 14th, there's a global one, and we've got our very own Lauren Rowe, who's going to be speaking on this global call. It's a Gen Z experience. What's the experience of somebody in the Gen Z group with the Juice Plus business? So I'm going to share this Zoom ID. Write it down, and then we'll close out the call. Ready? It's a long one. 9420-883-7966. Try to read that out in a catchy way that you'll remember it. 942-088-379-66. And again, that is Wednesday, July 14th, and it'll be at 2 o'clock Central Time. Again, another great event to build into and invite some people to hear some more inspiring stories about what this mission and community can create and can do. Again, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, everybody who joined us this evening. I hope you take advantage of the information tonight. I hope you say yes. I hope you allow yourself to dream and think big and think about the impact that you can create for you, your family, and those you love and those around you. So with that, I'll say thanks, good night, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now, everybody.
Thank you.
For more information,
Good night.
Connect with Gladys Osagie for more information. So if you're looking to improve your health, you're looking to improve you're looking to improve your health and wellness, you want to earn extra income, you love their story, send me a message. Thank you and God bless. Bye for now.